I'm going to try and keep the as libraries. I use different terms, but we can all translate them quite easily. The circulation speed of your circuits, the circulation speed of a motherboard, the circulation speed of a universal Cathara grid, what a phase lock is, what a density lock is, what locks and keys are, how to open up a gate, or if you will, the Keylontic science that came out through the Voyager materials and all of that. And so I try and keep this simple and condense it all down because the library is just vast. And how long it would take to uncoil all that data, all that information that's actually already been sensed, experienced, recorded. When you're at the monad level, you realize how much you're processing as data. Yeah. Or if you will, the cellular record. Right? All the recordings. You know, we're recording artists. Okay. The first recording artist, right? The first recorder, the first magnetic recorder, the first event, the first image, the first experience. Yeah, so imagine the record keeping of all that. How vast that record is, yeah. And so I don't go into because the libraries are always changing, because the experiences are always changing when you're an original sound artist. But I wanted to share was I just experienced a schematic, which is a map read of mathematical geometry that's represented by the language of mathematics, what we see on the visible light spectrum, our visual display, yeah. So I was looking at a visual display that showed the phase lock, the astral, and all this, and it said astral and awake. And so I did a couple of videos about what it means to be awake, and what's known as something we can all relate to is what's called operating levels, the levels at which our consciousness operates, because we're operating codes, language codes, the language of software, the language of biotechnology. Yeah. And how we're communicating with each other through technology in a biological way. The collective consciousness of all there is, which is the all creation, the tree of life, the first communication platform, the first tree trunk. A trunk, just like a tree that grows roots. The micelles, the cells, the cellular communication platform, the interface network, yeah. Ether, yeah, ether, like Ethernet cable news programming. And so when it comes to awake, you know what it means to be fully activated, what it means to be fully awake. What is fully awake? It means that all sensors have been activated, because that means that your sense of smell, your sense of touch, your sense of hearing, your sense of what you see through your holographic eyeball processors is heightened, which means the amplitude and the magnitude at the emotional level means that you're getting far more information, because we're sensing at the cosmic level, right? Because we're sensing what all the cells are experiencing and recording. And so we're experiencing that. That is a lot of experiences. That is a lot of information, right? That's a lot of recordings that are taking place simultaneously. And when you consider how much data that is, when you translate it and universally translate it or multiversally translate it as language, the language, right, of codes, of DNA codes, you know that there is a multiversal translator, and the speed at which codes can be translated and transmitted between all the cells that are communicating with one another, which is all the DNA. Yeah. On a planetary, a galactic, and a universal and a multiversal level. Or if you will, the Cosmia level. Right? Yeah, or what I call the one level. Because you're experiencing yourself being one, equal unto all creation that we're giving love to. between non-polarized consciousness, and now I'm in a polarized state. Yeah, and that's when we get into what it means to be fully integrated and not integrated, or non-polarized and polarized. And the flashing light sequences, which is known as a command line. I'm at a keyboard, I'm programming the lines of communication, or the instruction sets, which is the programming language, which is DNA language, which is DNA programming, which is what to build. Yeah. So when you're fully awake, yeah, that's you've restored all your energy. Like Russian dolls, you pulled it all in, recovered all the fragments, the parts of yourself, the sum of your parts of all your cells, which are all the cells, which is all the cells, the crystal cells, the spirits in the cells, yeah, the spirit and the energy. So the spirits are all communicating with us. Free all the spirits, right? The spirits in the molecules, the elementals. Free all the spirits. So now we're back in Alicia's collars and cagers. So part of what I do is to free all the spirits, not just the spirit, a light spirit body integrated with the soul, but all the spirits, which would be, if you will, every unit of consciousness that is being held captive by another unit of consciousness that can't let go of that energy, which is to let go of every single electron. Being held captive, what? In memory. Between non-polarized states and polarized states, to experience being one. A pillar of light, pure as it gets, the pure spirit of eternal fire. Yeah, the first spirit of fire, the first breath. So that's sort of how I describe it, because that's how I experience it. So I share it with others. And so I thought that because of the time frame that we're in, holographic frame rate speeds, the Keylontic science does a really great job of breaking it down in what I call the fastest period of time. So if you wanted to experience a crash course, other than the map that Patty Broussard put up about the back tune of harmonics, because I already did a number of videos on that, about what we call the speed of learning, right? And why I came in here, okay, which is to multitask a number of different things that were required in order to do what? Establish cosmic law, which is to end all Star Wars video games once and for all time.